My name is Andrew, and I'm a puppeteer, and I'm one of the co-directors of Thingamajig Theatre. These are some of my adventures in outdoor arts. Chapter 3: Giant Puppets. These are 5 of the favorite giant puppets that I've made, and why. Number 1. Yeshi the Yak. I made Yeshi when I was still working in the States in Minneapolis with the May Day Parade in the year 2000, so 21 years old. It's one puppet that I liked, and so I took with me when I moved to Seattle first and then eventually to the UK. So it's been on quite a journey, really. I like this puppet because uh, the way the head is counterbalanced with the body makes it very comfortable for the puppeteer to wear. And so suddenly it wasn't necessarily about making the biggest, best looking thing, but something that was really um, comfortable and ergonomic to perform, because the easier it is to perform, the better movement you can get, I think. And then also the head, the way the head is suspended just with a rope and the weight is transferred right to the back. When the puppet can really have an articulate head, I think it really helps it to come alive. Number 2, the Hippo, or who we call Hieronymus the Hippo. This was slightly different in the sense that we made this specifically as a street act. We had made giant puppets before for parades and perhaps even for some certain large-scale outdoor events, but we never made one specifically with the intention of having a street theater act. And that was a really good experience of learning what works and what doesn't work, just the spectacle of a puppet, but also the theater of how to present it and how to gather an audience and how to present the show and leave them excited and wanting more. And it was also the first time we made a puppet on wheels, and so it allowed you to have a bit more weight on it. There's some limitations, of course, steps, for instance, or the certain width of places, but actually it's quite a nice, exciting thing seeing it roll down the streets. Number 3, Muskox. Now, Muskox is something that I made for handmade parade. It was built on wheels. So there's one person pulling it and then one person standing on sort of a modified step ladder, and that top person is has there's 2 big drums on it. So as the muskox is rolling down, the drummer, the person on top, is playing these big drums, and right in front there was a drum band in front, and so the whole thing was a real sort of had a real nice visceral energy to it, and I thought I really liked that because it wasn't just about animating a puppet, it was creating a mood as it was sort of going down the street. Number 4, Kit and Caboodle. Well, the giant puppet is Kit, the pack mule here. But what was nice about this is that we had started as an indoor theater company making puppet plays, and then we moved over into making giant puppets, which is more about the spectacle and a little bit about the animation. But we miss the storytelling element of some of our indoor puppet plays. So with this one, we brought in the element that the puppet is actually the stage, and when it rolls into place and it creates that spectacle that giant puppets can do and gathers a crowd, but when it gets there, we set up and we start telling stories. The bits of the mule open up cases and whatnot, become stages for 3 shows about migration. And so this was a nice balance, we thought, of storytelling and also the spectacle and the magic of giant puppet animation. Number 5, Ghost Caribou. These are puppets that we made for our latest street theater act, and this was really quite exciting because it was the first time we'd created a street theater act specifically for nighttime, taking some of the lessons that we learned from making lanterns for parades and some events, and then also the lessons we learned from making street theater acts and sort of putting that together. It was a skill of making the puppets, but also creating that mood and the storytelling of what happens when we gather a crowd in the streets, and that's been a really exciting and satisfying thing to have. And it's been nice to have something else also in the winter time, because most of our giant puppet stuff happens during the summer months where most of the festival has, and this has sort of opened up a whole another a section of the year where we're usually a little bit quieter, except for, when it's a pandemic, of course. And those are some of the favorite giant puppets that I've made. In the next chapter, I'll talk about some of my favorite puppet residencies that I've taught.